This is Charles Haley. You're listening to Nothing But Niners.
This is Kyle Juszczyk, and you're listening to Nothing But Niners.
So now they've got to start from deep in their end of the field, and Garrison Hearst takes advantage of it. He takes the handoff, sweeps to his right, gets to the 20. He's in the 30, needs to cut in. He comes back up the right sideline, breaks a third tackle, comes down to the 30. He's down to the 20. He's down to the 10. He's down to the 5. He's into the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown! 49ers! 96-yard run from scrimmage. Garrison Hearst breaking tackle after tackle, sweeps down the sideline. Throws off bodies like clothes after a marathon.
Young, back to throw. In trouble, he's going to be sacked. No, gets away. He runs, gets away again, goes to the 40, gets away again, to the 35, cuts back at the 30, to the 20, the 50, the 10. He died. Touchdown, 49ers.
Third down, Alex takes the snap. Alex looking, got it, post, and it's good. Touchdown! Touchdown, 49ers!
It is second down. Ryan takes the snap, throws the slant to the left side. It's Russell intercepted. The 49ers pick it, and Navarro Bowman is redemption. Navarro Bowman running it all the way for the touchdown. No greater redemption.
San Francisco 49ers, we can do whatever we want.
Click, click, boom. What's going on, faithfuls? It's your boy Mike from the Nothing But Niners crew on this Patreon exclusive. Now, when I say exclusive, that means it's airing on the Patreon first. We are live right now on Patreon, 4 p.m., just like we would be if Wayne was here and we were doing the No Harm, No Foul show. All right. Now, unfortunately, Wayne is working, and that man's always working. So we weren't able to go live today, but this gives me an opportunity to bring you guys something really special. I've been working on these videos. I've been setting these up for a while. I'm going to do a little series here with the blank pick, with the blank picks. All right. We're going to go through day 1 of the draft, day 2 of the draft, day 3 of the draft, but in a different way. I'm not here to tell you guys what to think about any of these players. I'm not here to give you stats. I'm not here to do any of that stuff. What I'm here to do is take you through the experience of drafting the player, the player's reaction, the player's phone call, the presser afterwards, and the player's first presser. All right, we're going to sit here and we're going to digest all of that stuff, and then they're going to do it again on day 2 and day 3. All right, and we're going to go all the players in order, their picks, so on and so forth. All right, again, these will air exclusively on Patreon first. Then when we're done, we'll upload these bad boys to YouTube and let the rest of the world see them. But for you Patreonians, you people out there that have been holding me down, I applaud you guys. I salute you guys. And anyone who's got a bad thing to say about my Patreonians, I'm just like,
excuse me, bitch.
no, we don't play that here. We don't play that here. So thank you guys, all right? So with no further ado, let's go ahead and get to it, man. Let's go ahead and get to it. This is the first clip that I want to play for you guys. Oh, this is full screen. All right, this is as big as it gets. All right, hopefully you guys can hear it. Unfortunately, with the shorts, you don't get the best stuff, but just the pick. Here we go. And, of course, there's no audio.
With the 11th pick.
No.
With the 11th pick, 2025 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Mykel Williams.
Yes.
Defensive end, Georgia.
Yes. That's what I'm talking about.
Mykel Williams, a 2-year starter for Kirby Smart's Bulldogs. Mykel and his family and friends.
Okay. All right. So now what we want to do is show you guys the actual phone call. Why? All right. So, boom, they announced the pick. But what was happening leading up to that, right? Like, what was the phone call like on draft night? And that's what I want to share with you guys next. Check it out.
John Lynch.
My
You ready
God.
to be a Niner? Mykel.
Hey, how you doing?
My man, it's John Lynch.
Oh, my
You ready
God.
to be a Niner?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's awesome, buddy. We're so fired up to get you, man. We've been sitting here nervous about going up. I tried to go up, didn't work, but we got you here. So
man, I appreciate you.
we are so damn fired up, man. You're gonna be great for us, man. And the entire building got behind this. So I'm gonna turn you over to Coach Shanahan. All right, buddy. Let's hear it from Mike.
Michael, congrats, dude.
My dog, what's up, man? Thank you, Coach.
This is what we wanted since day one, man. We're all pumped in here.
Man.
And you with your family right now?
Yeah, man. We loaded.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Enjoy it. All right, it's a special night, and enjoy it because when you get here, man, it's time to go to work, all right?
Thanks, man. Appreciate you, Coach.
All right, dude. You too, man. All right, here's our owner real quick, all right, man?
Yes, sir.
Jed York.
Michael, how you doing, man? Congratulations.
Man, I'm great, man. I appreciate you.
I can't wait to see you out here. We're fired up. We've been sweating for the last 35, 40 minutes, but we're very, very happy you're here, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man. I'm blessed to be the pick.
Celebrate tonight. Enjoy.
Got you.
All right,
Will
man.
do.
Bye.
At all surprised that Williams was there at 11? Were you expecting him to go earlier?
We were. We were hanging on. Yeah, we thought there were a number of instances where he might go, and it just kept watching the deal, and it kept other guys kept showing up. So that was a good thing for us, and really pleased with adding Michael to our group.
What sold you guys on him specifically?
Everything. I think that like the totality of the whole process, and the film is very impressive. I mean, Michael's a big, good-looking kid in every way. He's big, he's tall, he's long. He's a great athlete. He's tough. He's smart. He's versatile. He can play outside. He can play inside. He does all those things. I think the toughness. He played through an ankle injury last year and missed 2 games. But high ankle sprains can be a tough deal. And to only miss 2 games and play as well as he did, came through here on a 30 visit and really got a feel for the kid. And I just think all of that led us to this guy is a Niner. He fits who we are, our culture, and we pounced when he was there.
You're hanging on. Did you try to trade up to get him?
May have. I may have. And I don't know. Niner. He fits who we are, our culture, and we pounced when he was there.
You're hanging on. Did you try to trade up to get him?
May have. I may have. And I don't know.
you're hanging on. Did you try to trade up to get him?
May have. I may have. And I don't know. No, we tried, and thank God they took someone else because he was still there when we were picked, so we're happy.
The other day you mentioned you had...
Oh, he did confirm that they tried. Wow. And so if that's the case, yeah, all right. If you guys didn't watch the draft show, this was a really, really big point of contention. It's a really big point of contention. And it's tough because Tony's sitting right next to me. He probably wanted to slap the shit out of me, right? But this is kind of one of the things that gets me a little concerned. This is one of the things that make me wonder about whether or not people really want to work with the Niners. Why didn't you trade up? Now, he said, fortunately, they took someone else, meaning that there was one team ahead of them that was willing to trade back. That's what it sounds like to me, right? That's what it sounds like to me. There was a team that was willing to trade back, and they decided to trade with someone else other than the Niners. John Lynch said they took someone else. So here's the full list of the trades that happened ahead of the Niners. The fifth overall pick for Mason Graham was traded from Jacksonville. All right. To Cleveland. All right. Anything else? There was nothing else. That was the only trade ahead of the Niners. So it was a defensive tackle. It was a defensive tackle. Not an edge. Was there a need to do it? I don't know. But kudos to John for even answering it. So I'm going to give him kudos for not wanting to answer it because I can see how it wouldn't benefit him at all. But he did go up. He did bite the bullet. He said, yes, we did try.
Had a few guys.
Because he was still there when we were. No, we tried, and thank God they took someone else.
Oh, wait, what did
I
Kyle
don't know. No, we tried, and thank God they took someone else because he.
Damn it! I want to know what.
No, we tried, and thank God they took someone else because he was still there when we were picked. So we're happy.
The other day you mentioned you had a few guys in mind for that pick. Was he the guy that you guys were really hoping to get and hoping that was available at 11? And if not, you had some others in mind?
Go ahead.
Let me go?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's the hardest thing because you got to have a number of guys that you really want, but you definitely got to know who you're going to take first. I just told the story on the radio, but like my wife and kids, I told them who I wanted last night. I trust them. None of you guys know them. But I told them Michael, and they're like, I was like, but he's not gonna. I don't think he's gonna be there. So I was telling them to other people we might think about. My wife calls me this morning and says she just read a mock draft that he's going 28th, and she was worried that we were just dead wrong about everything and started doubting me. But we had a good idea he was going earlier, and but you don't actually know. And so we thought about going up, and John definitely attempted for a sec, and I was like, good attempt, man. I think we should go. But they shot him down. And so we were ready to watch him go away, and we were ready to go to our second and third. But he didn't go where we thought he was going to go. And then he got to our pick, and I was like, can't believe you tried to trade there. Of course he was coming. So, like, that's our thing about the draft. You never know. But we stuck there and waited for a guy, and we got the guy we wanted.
The other day about
Kyle Shanahan just told a story that I absolutely believe. I'm going to give him a round of applause. I believe everything Kyle Shanahan just said for the first time in a long time. And it's not that I think Kyle Shanahan is a liar. It's not that I think he's a liar. I think that he's protective of the information that he's willing to share to the media and to the public. But this story was great, right? Because I started out not believing it. Oh, I talked to my wife and my child the night before, and I told him who I wanted, and I trust them. It's like, yeah, all right, sure. You told him it was Michael, right? Cool. But then he goes on to say, then she calls me in the morning and says, he's going 28th. You guys are wrong on your evaluation of him. Like, she's concerned, like, he's not as good as you guys think if he's going to go all the way down to 28th, right? But he was there, and they got their guy. I like that. Fuck a mock draft, right? Who cares about what the mock draft says? If your guy is there, you get him. You can't say, oh, well, the mock draft said he's going to be there at 28. We should trade back and get more. No, if he's really the guy that you want and he's there and he falls into your lap, you get him, especially if you believe the entire time there's a possibility he won't be there. So, yes, good that you guys got the guy. And again, I applaud the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch for a job well done.
We thought about going up, and John definitely attempted for a sec, and I was like, good attempt, man. I think we should go. But they shot him down. And so we were ready to watch him go away, and we were ready to go to our second and third. But he didn't go where we thought he was going to go. And then he got to our pick, and I was like, can't believe you tried to trade there. Of course he was coming. So, like, that's our.
Throws a little jab at John, right? Look at you, stupid. Like, you wanted to trade up. No, I don't think he really thought he was stupid, but that's what happens when you have a long-term relationship with people. You can joke around with each other like that. You know, like, if you guys, again, go back and watch the actual draft show. Tony's throwing shots at me. I'm throwing shots at Tony. We throw jabs at each other, you know. The thing is, you don't just dwell on and keep going over it. So it was good.
Our thing about the draft, you never know, but we stuck there and waited for a guy, and we got the guy we wanted.
You talked the other day about you look at the guy who set the edge at defensive line. That seems what sort of stands out in Michael. Just how did that aspect of his game sort of?
Well, specifically to that, I was just talking to Chris Kasarik, and he said this, and, when we went through our draft meetings, I think he's the best setter in college football. I think he's the best edge setter in this draft class. So if that's the premise of one of the things that's a hallmark of what we want in an edge guy, he does it extremely well. And I think that was impressive. Again, I mentioned the ability, he plays outside, he can come inside in the sub rush packages and rush over guards. And then I think, him being 20 years old but having a maturity and a way about him when he came through here, we felt that. We felt his presence. They talk about it at Georgia and his leadership and all those things, and you could feel it. He's just very comfortable in his own skin, and that was impressive when you put it along with together with the film.
What's his skill set as a...
Now, this is key, and this is exciting for me, hearing that, right? He talks about his leadership and his presence, right? Only being 20 years old, but mature beyond his years, right? I have personally not watched any of these. Any of these videos that I'm doing, guys, this is all like live and raw. I purposely didn't watch any of the draft coverage other than the actual picks. I didn't watch any of the Welcome to the Niners things. I didn't watch any of these pressers. I didn't watch the little short clip that they do, the radio thing. I didn't listen to anything. I have no idea what this young man sounds like. I have no idea. Well, I can't say I have no idea what he looks like, because you watch the film. I know what he plays like, and I've seen his face all of the one time they showed him on TV and in the graphic that I used here. So this is all new to me. Now I want to see if I get that same feeling. I want to see if I can sense the maturity and the leadership and the preparedness that they talk about here. So this is great. And hearing that Chris Kocurek, which is going to be his position coach, felt that he was the best edge setter in the entire draft is phenomenal, and the numbers back that up, even in a small sample size, and because of the rotation and in a much smaller sample size. Again, he had the least amount of pass rush snaps. And this is something that Tony and I talked about, and on the draft immediately after we picked him. Tony, Mariah, and I, Mike. These are things that we talked about, right? And I was like, I didn't have the numbers in front of me, but I was like, you go out there and you try to watch the film on him. I felt like there was less film on him than anybody else. And now they confirmed that later on. He did have less, and he still had better numbers than a lot of people. And so if you look at it based off of a percentage, this is the most successful pass rusher in this entire draft, and he's the best edge setter. Oh, man, that gets you excited? Well, it gets me excited. So I can't wait to see what the young man says, sounds like, and we're going to do all that in this episode.
I think, him being 20 years old but having a maturity and a way about him when he came through here, we felt that. We felt his presence. They talk about it at Georgia and his leadership and all those things, and you could feel it. He's just very comfortable in his own skin, and that was impressive when you put it along with together with the film.
What's his skill set as a pass rusher, and how much upside does he have there?
I think he's got a lot of upside. His skill set is a guy that can rush with power. He's a good enough athlete where he's got some wiggle. He's extremely proficient. I think when they run games, For that big of an athlete, I think he's a really good stop-start. Sometimes those guys can get going, but it's hard when a quarterback steps up, they can't change direction. I think he can do that really well. So he's got a lot of attributes. He's obviously got to come put them all together, but we're excited to work with him.
It's awesome when you got a guy that the more you watch him, the better he gets. And when you see how he uses his length and his arms and stuff, that stuff doesn't jump off the tape with everyone. Like when you first turn on Nick, when he was at Ohio State, you don't appreciate him the first time you watch him. But the more you watch him, you realize how much of a ninja he is with his hands and hand placement, all that stuff. And that's how Mikel grows on you too. The more you watch him, like, man, this guy's, I knew he was good, but he's a lot better than I thought. And then, love him over guards. But he also can do it outside just as well. So to have that versatility, two areas that can help us a lot, and to be as physical in the run game and to be the type of guy he is, that's why it's been a spot guy we were hoping for a while.
This is one of those cases where the stats are the stats, but when you look at the film, it's a different.
And then, love him over guards. But
I did all that talking, didn't take myself off of mute. So what was important about what Kyle said here, and I apologize about that long 20-second gap there where you guys didn't hear anything. I said something very clear going into this draft. Don't go and draft a guy that played left tackle his entire career and then try to move him to guard or try to make him play right tackle, right? If we need a right tackle on the offensive line, draft the guy that played right tackle. If we need a guard, get a guy that has played guard his entire career. Don't get a tackle and say, we think you're going to fit at guard. No. We did not have the luxury of taking those kind of gambles, right? So what they did was identify his biggest and best asset. We think he is the best prospect in the entire draft at setting the edge. Cool. That's what we need help with. But then Kyle says he can do it over guards, which means he's playing inside at the defensive tackle position. But he could do it on the edge as well. So what this was not only plan A, but if the rest of the draft doesn't fall the way it needs to for you, where you can't get a defensive tackle that you like, then what you do is you get a guy that plan A can also be part of plan B. He can kick inside, and maybe we take a higher risk or a higher gamble on a guy that is purely an edge guy, like another edge guy, and we make Mikel put on a little bit of weight and then get inside. Now, with the benefit of hindsight, we know that this was a great pick, and we're going to get the guys for the inside later on, but you also have a contingency plan. So you get this guy, and he fills not one but two gaps for us, and seeing the big plan come together, this is really, really, really exciting. I have not been this excited about a draft in a really, really long time. But this haul of draft players, I think, is going to be great for the 49ers in the next 4 seasons. So kudos to them.
That stuff, and that's how Mikel grows on you too. The more you watch him, like, man, this guy's, I knew he was good, but he's a lot better than I thought. And then, love him over guards. But he also can do it outside just as well. So to have that versatility, two areas that can help us a lot, and to be as physical in the run game and to be the type of guy he is, that's why it's been a spot guy we were hoping for a while.
This is one of those cases where the stats are the stats, but when you look at the film, it's a different case altogether.
Yeah. I'm not sure of the stats, so I really don't know. Like I have 14. All right.
Great answer by Kyle. I'm not aware of the stats. You shouldn't be drafting anybody just based on stats, just based on combine. And this is why I was so concerned about what we were going to do in this draft, right? Nick Bosa didn't have the most amount of sacks in college. He had some. He was productive, especially when healthy, but he didn't have the most sacks when we drafted him. But they looked at the skill set. The exact opposite for me is Shamar Stewart. I thought that he was the biggest risk, and good luck to him. And I think he went to Cincy, right? But I wouldn't have taken him there. There was never a time where it was like, wow, this guy is a force. Like, this guy is a sack master. Like, if this guy can stay healthy, there was never that point in time for Shamar Stewart. So I love that Kyle said I wasn't aware of the stats. They were looking at the traits, the tendencies, the consistency in which he was out there. So that was great. Good job for Kyle answering that question there.
A different case altogether.
Yeah, I'm not sure of the stats, so I really don't know. Like I have 14. All right. How many pressures? What's his pressure rate? But that all stuff goes into play, you know. So it's if someone, you know, if you see something that's alarming, and there are a bunch of stats that match it, it all stacks up. You know, when you watch the tape and those questions don't come up. If someone brings it to your attention and it's something alarming, I guarantee someone did tell me that. But that doesn't even register that much because that's not what I see. I see a guy that's really hard to block in the run game and the pass game, hard to block for tackles, hard to block for guards. And I think it's really cool when you think about college football now. I mean, half these guys coming out, I say the majority almost seem 24, 25. And we got a 20-year-old who looks like a man on tape. But to look like a man on tape as a 20-year-old when you're going against 25-year-olds, I think is a big difference. And I'm excited to see him in the NFL 5 years from now when he'll only be 25.
The ankle, how difficult did the ankle make it to evaluate his season last year? And also just what's your comfort level with where he is in terms of
So I think when a guy has a body of work, you almost appreciate that. You don't like that he had an ankle injury, but you give him a ton of credit. Matt Barrows, you just mentioned Will Muschamp. Will just texted me and said this guy played, he's tough as you know what. He just played through an ankle injury the entire year and missed 2 games. And he's tough, he's smart, he's got huge upside, you know. So all the things we saw. And so when you see the previous years and all that, and he's doing great. Now, he just had a pro day just about 7 days ago and looked really good. And our docs checked him out. It was all good.
High ankle sprains we've all dealt with, and they're as nagging of an injury as you can have. And most people are out a month with them, but even when you're out a month, they still linger all year. And so when you watch this tape, and I watched it before, I kind of see everyone, especially the top guys. And then I get in there and I hear some of this stuff, and I liked him not knowing that. And then you hear that stuff, and you're like, all right, that says a lot about his character, how tough he can play. They only missed 2 games because of it. But also the fact, I know he's not healthy either all the time, because I know how much high ankle sprains linger. And so when you see that and knowing he's playing through that, I look at all that as a huge bonus.
Even more impressive.
Varying degrees of success trying to find a bookend for Bosa, kind of since Steve Ford got his back injury. I mean, is this, I guess, particularly exciting just because, you know, to have the potential of 2 disruptive guys on the outside?
Absolutely. Yeah, and we still need more. You know, we got 10 more picks, and he won't be the only D lineman. So, you know, we got to keep going. You know, we've always talked about they're kind of the engine that stirs our defense, and we've got some work to do. We know that, but I think this guy's a great core piece moving forward and a great bookend to Bosa, who also has the versatility, Eric, along with Yetur to kind of play throughout the line. So I think that's kind of exciting, all the different combinations we can have.
This is why John Lynch is John Lynch. This is the media training, right? So you're taught when you look at when you study how to interview people, what you don't want to do is ask yes or no questions, and that's what Eric Branch's question was. Could this guy be the bookend that you're looking for, opposite of Nick Bosa? You haven't really had that consistently since D Ford. Could he be that? They could have just said yes and moved on, but this is why this is what makes John Lynch special. Like, he knew that it was a simple answer, yes, but then he goes into it and then he also brings in the complement of the rest of the cast, although not much of a cast right at this point in time. But he did a phenomenal job answering that, where he could have just made it a simple answer. And there's other beat writers that cover the team and other people in the audience that ask questions so much better than Branch, because Branch talks so much that he ends up making it a yes or a no. And don't do that. Don't give them the easy way out. Ask your question in a different way so that they're forced to do what John Lynch did. But with John Lynch out there, you never really have to worry about that. So I guess he's kind of helping out those beat writers. Not that that was a bad question from Eric Branch or anything like that. I would have just asked it in a different way. You guys have been missing that book in opposite of Nick Bosa. I'm assuming that you guys feel that he could be that. Or if not, what do you see and how could he improve to become that? Then you let John Lynch say everything that he just said. Same question, but forcing them to give you more words than just a yes or a no, one-word answer.
Go ahead. I'm assuming that you talked to Kirby Smart. What was his appraisal of his leadership and the effect that Michael had on the locker room at Georgia?
You know what? I am tight with Kirby, but pretty soon and early in this process, it was apparent that Michael was a guy for us, and so we kind of laid low on that. Like Kyle said it when we were on the radio, sometimes you don't have a lot of the character of this kid is impeccable. The scouts did a tremendous job delivering the information. We saw everything we liked, and so sometimes it's best just to let things lie, and we did.
It's so scary to have to go find things out, because usually people find out that you're trying to find things out, and so there's always a risk to that. And so if you're asking someone something just to ask it, that doesn't help you that much, you shouldn't do it. That's how people find something out, through third parties, and that allows people to jump in front of you. It's just, we've learned things too much that way, so other people do that. So yeah, you want to dig into everybody, but if you can do that without putting yourself on Main Street to do it, that usually helps you. But sometimes you don't have that, you're not in that situation. You got to speak to the guy, you got to dig more. But that was cool not having to do that as much with this guy.
Is it tough to...
So there is someone watching live right now. If you want me to play the radio part, I have that. I didn't know that they did the radio first. I thought they did this first and then they did the radio. I was considering not pulling the radio clip, but if that's something that you guys want, please let me know. I will happily pull that up so we can hear it. So whether you're watching it on Patreon or you're watching it on YouTube right now, just type yes and let me know if that's something that you want me to pull up, because we can also play that as well. It's not that long. It's not as long as this. This is 13 minutes, but the other one is much shorter. The radio spot is much shorter.
Project him into your system when he played so much 4i in college, and what does it say about him that he could play that position with his body type?
I think what it helps us, that's not the style we play. Georgia, Schumann, their coordinator, they've been very successful. That's not the technique. It's very antithetical to the way we play. We get our guys raring and ready to go. But I think you see enough of Michael, particularly on third down, that we see all the things that I think it just makes for even more excitement than when he is cut loose. Watch out.
About maturity of being comfortable in his own skin, what are some of the things that stand out to you that maybe you don't see in other people?
I don't know about not seeing in other people. I just think, so you come on these 30 visits, and it's one small piece of the entire puzzle. But we have noticed that some of our best players have made a really good impression, and we try to throw some guys we have no interest in just to keep people guessing, because people do study those things. People in this room study those things very well. So we try to throw some, but it is, I remember Fred Warner, his 30 visit just solidified that our interest in this guy. Michael had a very similar, I know Kyle, we're not in on every conversation, but we work together and having those conversations. And there was just a lot of these, and they should be, are incredibly nervous. If he hit it very well. He just seemed very comfortable who he is, what he wants to be, and that left us really excited. And I think, did a great job at just letting us feel what football means to him and why he loves the game so much.
And any of his games, and did you just meet him for the first time on that visit?
So when you go to games, you don't meet them, but I didn't see Mikel's game this year. No.
Or 2 weeks
Yeah,
ago?
that's the first time I met him at the 30. Yeah.
Sala and Chris Kasarik have to say about him after watching his film.
Same stuff, just more aggressive and more. There's no one else we need to look at. Why are we doing anything? So they're good salesmen.
They're both happy people, right?
Very happy. So
Talk about the struggles of the run defense last year. How much of it was the absence of, that versatile guy like an Eric Armstead that it looks like you're hoping to recreate here with Mikel?
Yeah. I think one thing that I'm always cognizant, we've done really well with those type of body types. Eric, I think Arden Key, Charles Omenihu, guys who have that flexibility, I think kind of make us better, and we like that. So, and I think in all facets, not just the run game. Mikel is an excellent run player, one of the tops in college football by the numbers, by our eyes. And then in addition to it, we think he's got a tremendous upside in his pass rush ability as well from multiple spots. Yeah, thank you.
All right, so that's that there. No. You guys don't get to cheat. Get out of here. All right, so let's see. Let's see what Nick said here. All right, this is what we'll play next. I got you guys. Don't worry. All right. We are going to go to this one next. All right. We played the call already. Let me see. We'll share this one. All right, here we go. This is going to be more audio with just a still shot, but it's cool. I'll bring it in. All right. Here we go. Oh, wait, I got it muted. My bad.
A moment you probably waited on your entire life. How did it feel to get your name called at number 11?
Man, it felt great, man. It's a major blessing, man. I just give all the glory to God, and I just thank you for being in this situation, in this position. And I just thank the 49ers and their ownership and General Manager John Lynch for selecting me and making me the pick.
Again,
What has
this
the last
is
24 hours
him on
been
the
like
phone.
for you? What has been your process during the day-to-day? And
It's been pretty rapid. Like I've been really like trying to just bring it in the right way. So I still been working out and stuff like that. But I've been like just spending a lot of time with my family and my people, and just being around my loved ones the last 24 hours and trying to bring it in the right way.
Did you know the 49ers were on you to this extent, and did you feel real good after your 30 visit?
I did after my 30 visit. I felt like we had a great connection. I wasn't sure if they would take me or another player, but I feel like I was in the mix. And just to get that call, man, it was a blessing.
How exactly did that 30 visit go? And was there a particular coach or a player that you connected with there?
No, it went great. And I really connected well with the whole staff. I can't say just one particular, but it went well, man. It went great. I reviewed tape, we talked ball, and I just toured the facility and got a great feel of the building and of the staff. And I ended up here, so it's a blessing.
Could you talk a little bit about your ankle sprain last season and how difficult it was to play the whole year with that?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I hurt my ankle like week 1 last year, and then I ended up playing through it, and I played on it the whole year. And that really just wasn't a smart decision at the time. I just wanted to be out there with my guys, man. So I was playing through. I was still a lot of pain. And right now I'm 100% healthy though, and I've been working out, working out and moving on it like normal. So.
Mikel, obviously Georgia used you all over the place. I know you did play some 9 technique. Just how do you view this as your fit for the wide 9 here and what they like to do up front?
I love it, man. I'm excited. Out of 4, some 9 at Georgia, but just to be primarily 9 tech, but I'm excited, man. Super excited.
What is it about your skill set that makes you a fit for that?
I feel like because of how well I play on edges, just being in the wide nine the whole game all the time would allow me to make more plays and would allow me to just be a better player overall and have a better career.
What are you most looking forward to playing with the defense led by Robert Saleh and just the culture that you're stepping into?
Man, I'm just excited to play for Coach Saleh and play in this scheme to where like he lets the front do what the front does, and which is rush and set edges and play the run. So I'm excited to be to play for Coach Saleh and play in this system and play with the great players that I'm playing with, like Nick Bosa. Man, I can't wait to get to practice. I ain't gonna lie to you. I can't wait to get to practice.
So how excited are you to play with Nick?
Man, screaming. I can't wait to learn from him. Really, I got so many questions.
Chris Kasarik, the D-line coach, I guess, told John and Kyle that you're the best edge setter in college football. What does that type of respect mean to you?
And I appreciate, man, that's major because it's coming from a very valued source. So that's major, and I really appreciate that opinion on me from him.
John Lynch spoke highly of your character, learning about you throughout the process. Where is that sort of coachability that you come with rooted? Like, where did that start? Who taught it to you?
Yeah, that's a great question. I feel like I kind of been this way all my life, honestly, man. Like, and it's kind of weird to say, actually. Like, I don't remember like one instance, one moment, or like one season where I just changed. So I kind of feel like it just gradually just got better, you know, as I grown and matured.
All right. That was cool. I like that. We're gonna keep this thing moving here. All right. We're gonna get John and
Alfred,
Kyle
not much
on
time
now.
has passed since your name was
No,
called. What was that?
We're gonna go right to this one here. There's another short one here. All right, check it out.
Here to peel back the curtain on day one of the draft is head coach Kyle Shanahan. Kyle, both you and John Lynch mentioned in your call to Mykel Williams that you tried to trade up and couldn't. Peel back the curtain for us. What was the emotion of that war room when you realized you're going to be able to get him at number 11?
Oh, it was true excitement because we were nervous he was going a couple picks before us, so we tried to jump him, knowing. I mean, there was three guys that we believed one of them was going to be at us for sure, but all three were still there. But we wanted Mykel so bad that we wanted to make an attempt, and John made that attempt. They shot us down. But I remember looking to him like, dude, awesome job going for it. Now, hey, we'll live with it, but at least we attempted because we thought for sure that he was going a couple picks before that. And then when he didn't go and he fell to us, it was fun to look at John and be like, I can't believe you tried to trade for him. We knew he was coming the whole time. So we were messing with each other a lot on that because you never know in the draft. And to be able to sit there in a workout and get the guy who was our first choice, we couldn't be happier.
Williams has been praised for his athleticism, his long arms, his run defending abilities. How do you see him fitting into the D-line as a rookie?
I think he's going to be a huge help. We lost a number of D linemen last year. Everyone knows since John and I have been here, that's really kind of what we hang our hat on, trying to build this team through the D line. We got a number of good players here, but we need to add a number of new ones. And starting with him, I think it's huge. What he can do on the edge, but he's not penciled in on the edge. He rushes over guards as good as anyone we believed in the draft. He can rush at tackles as good as anyone in the draft. And however it pans out, we usually get 8, sometimes 9 up on game day. He's going to be one of the better ones, but there's a number of spots he can be at.
This is your second time revamping a defense alongside defensive coordinator Robert Saleh. How much input did he have into taking Williams at number 11?
Well, I mean, that was definitely his guy, but it was all of our guys. So we all felt the same. It was a pretty easy decision in terms of how the whole room felt, what we needed, what we always are looking for, and then he matched it. But just going through this with Saleh and John, our first 3 years here, and then knowing he did it somewhere else, and then coming back and having to do this again with us. It's nice to have guys who have experience doing it, and it's nice to have a guy who we know what he wants, he knows what we want, and makes it a little more fun working together, but you got to still get lucky and make sure they're there.
Thanks so much, and we're looking forward to the next 10 picks.
Let's do it.
I'm here alongside President of Football Operations and General Manager John Lynch to talk day one of the draft. John, you said that the The 49ers do best in the drafts in which all the groups involved in the decision-making can find consensus. What made Mykel Williams a consensus pick at number 11?
I think everything. He's a really impressive young man in every way. The most important way is probably the character, who the kid is, and that was communicated from our scouts who went through Georgia. So that's all his coaches, academic advisors, trainers, just speak glowingly of him both on and off the field. That's important to us. But then, another really important thing, obviously, is the film. And he's got incredible physical traits, physicality, length, versatility, can play outside. He can move inside in pass rush situations. So he checks a ton of boxes. There's a lot of work to be done in honing his skills, but he's going to have great mentors, guys like Chris Kasarik and Greg Scruggs, who just joined us. Really excited. Those guys can't wait to get their hands on him. And there's just so much talent and youth and just character in this kid that I think it made it a consensus pick throughout our building.
Williams is going to be lining up alongside the likes of defensive lineman Nick Bosa, Yetur Gross-Matos, Jordan Elliott. How do you see him fitting in on that line?
Well, you got to earn everything in this league, and I think that was something really refreshing. If you've ever gone and watched the University of Georgia practice, those guys earn everything they get. They're not a top program in the country for lack of work. They have incredibly physical and tough practices. So if you've made it through those and they are talking about work ethic and all that, you know that these guys are for real, and they play some of the best football in the country, and he was a huge part of that. He checks all the boxes in terms of what we like physically, and it made it, nothing's ever easy, but it was really easy to get behind the idea of this guy being a Niner.
This 2025 draft pool has been described as one with a lot of depth. You've got 3 picks between rounds 2 and 3. What type of talent is still available for the taking on day 2?
There's still a lot. It is one of the hallmarks of this depth, of this draft, is the depth. And I think, talking about Tariq Ahmad, this is his.
All right. Thank you, John Lynch. This is the radio spot on KNBR. They did the instant reaction here.
Head coach Kyle Shanahan here as well. Guys, Mykel Williams. Well, John, I guess we'll start with you. What did you like about the edge?
Hold on 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. Give me 1 second. I got to fix something here. All right. Here we go. Let's go full screen. All right. We'll bring it back. And I will rewind it since it's only like a second. So here we go.
Head coach Kyle Shanahan here as well. Guys, Mykel Williams. Well, John, I guess we'll start with you. What did you like about the edge rusher from Georgia?
Everything. Mykel was the guy that our building got really the most convicted, and we talk a lot about consensus. And when we have that, we usually are cooking with gas. We hit at a high level, and that's exactly what we had with Mykel. I think he's exactly what we're looking for in an edge player. Got a great combination of physicality, length. We really believe the versatility to play both outside and then move down inside and rush the passer as well. So, and then, just talking to people at Georgia, there's a toughness to this kid. He played through an ankle last year and only missed 2 games, but dealt with it the entire year. And I think he's just a tough guy. He's got a lot of passion for the game. And Kyle and I had an opportunity on his 30 visit to sit down, really get to know the kid. And only 20 years old, and I think his best football is to come, and he's been pretty darn productive already. So great fit for us.
Coach, your thoughts about Mykel?
Everything he just said, that was awesome. But no,
that's it. Drop it.
No, he's we start out with the D linemen win games. So anytime you can add a good D lineman, a difference maker, that's usually where we want to start out. And we saw him as one. And when you just look at his length, how physical he can plays. I love how he uses his hands. He seems like a veteran in how he does it. And I think it's really cool when you watch a guy in college football play like a man. But you realize he's a 20-year-old. Wow. The difference in college football this year is you're going against mainly 25-year-olds with how long people stay. So when you watch a 20-year-old play like that versus NFL-aged people, I think it's pretty cool because can't wait to see him at 25.
Yeah, I read an article where
You guys spent a lot of time with the players before the draft, just personally. Anything stand out about your time with him, interaction, anything that he said or did?
I would say, I won't speak for Kyle, but we tag team on a lot of these guys. We sit up in my office and talk to them. I think the thing with Michael, other than he's massive, he was very comfortable in his own skin, and I think that's authentic to me. There's a realness that this guy loves it. He is who he is, and I felt like this isn't recruiting, but he really wanted to be here, and we really wanted him to be here. And like I said, when you go off history, we've done well, and it's not all off the 30 visits. I mean, most of it is the film. But I think that just left us even more convicted of really wanting him, and that probably is what stands out most.
How much more desirable is a player that obviously can play on the outside but also can have the ability to slide inside? How much does that make an impact week in, week out?
It gives you a ton of flexibility. I mean, just losing Malik this year and stuff, losing some inside guys, some good inside pass rushers. Also losing Leonard, who's a very good edge player, good edge setter, good at rushing from the edge, and Mikel can do both. And when you're like that, that's a great thing for Saleh. I mean, when you can match guys up, you can put them wherever you want. And similar, two different players, but two good players, compare him to someone used like Eric Armstead. I mean, Eric was a problem on the edge, but he was also a huge problem over guards and could play either one depending on how our D-line panned out and what our roster was that year. But we got some really good guys here, but we lost a bunch, and we got to add a bunch more in here. And when you get a guy like this, we feel great at him at one spot and just as good at another.
His 40 time at the Pro Day was 4.77, John. His 10-yard split, 1.61. Do we have the GTFO for him, his first three steps? That's all we care about.
I'll let you explain GTFO, but just come to training camp and listen to Chris Kaceric's crazy. You know what? And that's what GTFO is.
Just getting off the ball.
Yeah, getting off the ball. He does it, and he does it well. And, it's I'm getting excited just thinking, the versatility Kyle's talking about. We got a guy in Yetur who also has that similar versatility. You throw him in there with Bosa, and like Kyle said, we still have 10 more picks, so we got a lot more work to do. A lot of opportunity for these guys to come in and earn a spot, and really this weekend's huge for us, and we got off to a great start.
Does he remind you of anybody you played with your time, all those great defenses?
Yeah, so on our defensive lines, we never had a guy really that big. I think kind of like the length of a Simeon Rice, but a different player. Simeon was kind of more of an edge, beat people around the corner. Mikel's different. Like Mikel's got kind of Trayvon Walker's a guy he's very similar to me, a former Georgia player. I didn't play with Trayvon, but I think they have a lot of similarities to their game. And he was a really, really impressive prospect.
How impressive was just the personality? You touched on it a little bit, Kyle. I guess I'll ask you for somebody that's so young. To be 20 and
that was the coolest part, because we do not just our scouts and John's whole group upstairs. They do homework on these guys for ever since they leave high school, and they go back to high school on it too. So they visit the school, they look into this stuff for 3 years, and some of them 4, some of them 6 right now. But the coolest thing when we're bringing them out on a 30 visit, I'm like, there's actually nothing I feel like I need to find out about this guy, because he checks out in so many areas. And when you see that, you just wonder if it's too good to be true. So you enjoy the conversation. And when we hung out with him, you just get those exact same vibes. You can see exactly why his college program felt the way he did about him, how he checked out with every coach we talked to, former players who know him. And then just to get to know him, he held himself very well. He knew how to act, knew how to talk, and was really cool to be around, and I know our guys are going to love him.
Yeah, Kirby Smart said he's a great leader for us. He was a 4-game captain. So big day tomorrow, big day Saturday. You got 10 picks. Running back, 3rd or 4th round this year, Kyle. Where are we going with that?
Well, odds are 3rd. Especially with
Which one? Which one you got? You got 75?
Well, probably both of them.
What'd you think of the draft? I mean, wow, how about the trade Jacksonville made, John, to trade up from 5 to 2?
Yeah, Kyle and I, we get so zeroed in on our own stuff. Sometimes you're supposed to kind of be watching, and we are, but we're talking strategy, and all that. But Jacksonville was aggressive, and good for them. They got a great player in Travis Hunter, and Cleveland had their reasons, and Jim Schwartz loves D linemen as well, and got a really strong player in Mason Graham. So interesting to kick this thing off.
John, I know you can't necessarily get into specifics, but I mean, generally speaking, how much of a back and forth were there maybe with teams calling or you guys calling around or different things about? I know you'd mentioned everybody kind of wanting to do the same thing maybe, and that can lead to inaction.
Yeah, I was real prophetic. I said everyone's trying to move that way, and Jacksonville goes up and gets the number 2 pick. So, but that was the pulse of what was going on. Most people were trying to get back. It turned out there were some people trying to get up, but we were, once Mikel was there, that was going to be our pick, and it felt really good. I don't think we were very confident he was getting to us.
No, we weren't.
Yeah. So, the fact that he did, that was a blessing, and we bounced when it happened.
How do you feel about this draft and the depth? I think one of the things we've talked about, there's 7 or 8 edge rushers that are all big, strong, fast, and then there's a number of others, and then tight ends and receivers. It's a very deep class for a certain number of positions. How are you viewing that for the later rounds?
I think that's exactly how it's advertised, is that way. Even being at 11, we had our guys. There were some real specific targets. Hey, if this guy's there, we're taking him. And we got that guy. But, if we were all betting guys, we didn't think he was going to be there. So we had 2 other guys that we were hoping would be there. But if we were betting guys, we probably wouldn't have bet on they were going to be there. So you start thinking, all right, if we miss these 3 or 4 guys, who are we taking at 11? Well, man, there's some people that say this should go at 11, but, man, I like this guy at 28 just as much. And that's how I almost see every team is. I haven't watched the draft since we picked. I've been doing this stuff, but I want to be surprised.
Just went to Tampa Bay at 19, Kyle.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's guys that go in the teens that people thought might have gone in the late 20s. And I don't think it's going to be much different in the second round. There's guys you would think, oh, you can for sure get this guy at 43 in the second round. But the more you look at the draft, you're like, man, this guy's not that much different than some of these 20 picks. So if someone wants him, this guy might go in the 20s. So you think about that stuff, and you think of guys in years past, and I think this draft will be the strongest in that type of way.
Pick number 11 is the first of the weekend. You got 11 total. And when Kyle's talking about is playing poker, you got evaluation on all the players, and now you play the board. Do you think you'll make 11 picks? Will you move up to take less? What are your thoughts on how many picks at the end of the weekend? Do you have a feel?
I don't. You never know, but we'll use a lot of them. I know that. There may be one or 2 guys where we feel the need to move up. I don't think we're going to sit back and acquire more picks. We already got a lot of them. But you never know. I think Kyle said it just right. This draft, I think in the middle of it, it's real strong, and it goes for a while. And there's a lot of starting level candidates, and we're excited about that. We've done a good job of putting our work in throughout our organization, and going to be a fun weekend.
I think that's the hardest thing, because you want 11 guys to add to our team. 3 of those are 7th round picks. And a lot of times that doesn't hit right. So you're like, maybe we should use one of those to go up. And then we think about, we got to. And it's like, wait, but that could be 3 Brock Purdy's. That could be one JJ.
You want Jenny?
Yeah, you don't. So you 7th round pick, 6th round picks. You want to move up, but that could be DJ Jones. 5th round pick. Let's move up. Well, that could be George Kittle. That could be Dre Greenlaw. So yes, you want to move up but you know what? Those guys can still be good back there too, and the draft is pretty evened out more this year than usual, and that's the stress of it. You don't know exactly how it's going to fall, and when I talk about falling, where people think people are going to go and stuff, but I told my wife his secret last night that we wanted Mikel if he was there, and she texted me at 7.
She's good with secrets. She didn't tweet it out.
No, she knows better.
She didn't tell Kawakami.
No.
Oh, damn.
We don't know how to tweet. But then she texted me at 7, or calls me, and she's like, I just read mock drafts, and Mikel's not going until 28. and then
you blew it.
Why didn't you get straight back?
And then she starts going, are you sure you guys are right? You're obviously wrong. And I'm like, you never know, honey, but we got to ignore that.
You guys have had so much success drafting starters, especially last year in that 2nd, 3rd, 4th, later in the draft. What do you attribute that to? The scouting department, your work with the guys pre-draft. How do you account for that?
I think the process. I think the fact that our guys work so well together, and that everyone's listened to. I think a lot of places, a couple people make, and ultimately somebody is charged with making those decisions, and that's Kyle and I. And but everybody is heard here, and I think when that's the case, everybody can contribute, and everyone feels ownership and part of it. And you end up doing a really solid job. And we've told the stories of of Brock Purdy, and ultimately it gets to us. But before that, there's a lot of work between scouts and coaches, and so I think when that feeling of work is genuine, we spend that much time together, it translates into success, especially late.
So like a Dominic Pooney coming in and early in last offseason comes in and is plugged in as a starter. Was that something you saw during the draft process? And hey, this guy, not a developmental guy, he can come in and play right away.
I think it's rare that we take a guy in that area that we don't believe has the capability of being a starter.
Yeah.
I mean, when you take an old lineman there, you're not going to hit on a ton of starters, but there's not one. It's going to be hard for us to take a fourth-round old lineman and just say, hey, we're getting a good backup.
Yeah.
If that's our argument on someone, that argument's probably going to lose to someone who sells this linebacker as a possible starter or this possible DB, and that's kind of how we all compare it. And if we see something in there that Pooney can be a starter for us, which starts with the scouts and bringing it to us and understanding how it fits in our schemes, and the coaches cross-checking it for these last 2 months and then getting back with the scouts to compare and contrast and talk about the Zoom meetings, all the stuff that goes down, we always believe he has a chance to be a starter and rarely take a guy any other way.
Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch, thank you guys. We'll let you get back and wrap up the first round, and we'll be talking to you again soon.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
All right, we'll come back here, and we'll update everyone on the most recent picks. We'll also head back out.
And we don't care. So what we're going to do now, guys, is hear from the rookie when he finally made it to San Francisco. They fly him out right away. He gets to the Bay, and he has his own presser. We're going to share that really quick with you guys. All right, and then I'm going to get up out of here. All right, so this is going to be what he looks like in his 49ers hat and all that good stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun, and then I'll be out of here. So hopefully you guys enjoyed what we've presented so far. All right, this is going to be hopefully a quick one. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Boom. And boom. Oh, wow, I keep doing the
John Lynch said. Mikel, one of the things that John Lynch said was when you were here for your 30 visit, you seemed really comfortable in your own skin and that you weren't nervous at all. And if you were hiding it well. Were you nervous at all?
I wasn't. I wasn't. I just came in. They kind of made me feel at home. So it's very, like you said, a very comfortable visit. And we're just meeting great people and talking and having a conversation.
Could you talk a little about your wrestling background when you took up that sport and how it kind of helps you doing what you do today?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I wrestled in high school. Started my sophomore year because I played basketball my freshman year. So my sophomore year, all the way to like my last year, I wrestled. And I started at 220, and I went up to heavyweight my last year. And it helped me with football. Like, it helped me with like my grip strength and like my balance and my body control, to where like I can take on the block and still be stout in the run game, stuff like that. So.
What was the highest weight that you wrestled?
The highest weight probably like 250, but I wrestled in the weight class of 285.
Oh, okay. So you're 250 wrestling 285-pound guys.
Yes, sir.
How did you fare in those matches?
I made it to state. Yeah, my last year I would have placed at state. I think I missed weight, like I was too light or something like that. Yeah.
Michael, I actually talked to Rusty Manziel for a long time, and he said that a lot of your career that he's covered you wanted to make sure that your family was a part of every milestone throughout your football career. A few of them are here today, I'm assuming, but then also to be able to bring it in with them yesterday. What's the moment that sticks out to you?
Man, just being in that room, and after I'm getting that call, I'm just hearing my people screaming and celebrating. I'm shedding tears and stuff like that. So it's just that exact moment is what I think about when you ask me that question.
Is it important for you to do it to watch the draft at home rather than go to Green Bay?
Only reason why it was important to me because I wanted to be around more family, and I feel like I can get more family at home versus Green Bay.
You know, Coach Scott, Trey Scott, Georgia, there's a lot of guys that have come out, defensive linemen in Georgia, and they've done well in the NFL. I guess, how did he influence you, or what are the most important things he taught you? And does it give you some level of confidence seeing former teammates and other Georgia players who doing well?
Yeah, it does, because those guys are guys that I still talk to this day, and they reach back and tell me kind of how it is and what they're doing and why they're having success. So I kind of get a little confidence boost from those guys too, because I lean on them. But Coach Scott is a great teacher. That's what makes Coach Scott different as a coach. That's why his players come out a little bit ahead of the curve, because of how he slows the game down and how he teaches us play by play, block by block, step by step.
Have you met any of your fellow defensive line teammates yet or joined their group chat?
Not yet. I met Gira. I don't want to mispronounce his name. I met one of them earlier. I don't want to mispronounce no name. I'm sorry, but I gotta reconnect with the guys. I gotta get up with the guys, man. Lock in with the guys. But I ain't really had the opportunity to see all of them yet.
Last night you said you were really excited to work with Nick Bosa. What is it about him that you've watched that you want to add to your game, or what have you learned? What do you want to learn from him?
I want to learn everything from him. I want to learn how he rush. I want to learn why he do the stuff he do. I want to learn how he think. So that's something that I can't wait to get. I can't wait to get next to Nick and pick his brain a little bit, ask him questions, ask him what he's seen and why he did that, and just ask him about the game. You feel me? Try to take some stuff from him.
Nick is pretty famously good with his hands, pass rushing wise. In college, are guys like that used as like teach tape by your position coach?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, we definitely would look at their hand usage, and we'll look at like drills that he did to get his hands like that versus watching him do it. You see what I'm saying? So yeah.
You have that foundation with the swipe and power. Where do you want to sort of grow as a pass rusher?
I'd probably say with my pass rush plan, because like you said, I got the swipe, I got the long gun, I can go power, but I need to be a better player, in my opinion. I need to be more decisive on what I'm gonna do in my pass rush.
When you walked in the locker room today, which names kind of stuck out to you immediately?
Man, a couple different ones, man. It's a lot of guys in that locker room. But a couple good friends, like my guy Robert Bill, Beefy. I put his name out there. I played in college with him, and this is my guy. He like a big brother to me. So I came and seen him first, and then I got a couple teammates a couple good friends that are teammates now. So I went by their locker too.
Those guys.
Diamador Lenore actually showed love as soon as you were drafted yesterday. Did you see that? I know your mentions were probably crazy.
Yeah, I ain't see it. That's my guy though. That's my dog.
Much with Robert Saleh at the defensive coordinator.
I spoke with him shortly earlier. It's been great, man. On my visit, he kind of expressed to me the plan, and I love the plan. And we kind of see eye to eye on that, on how I'll be used in the system and stuff like that. So it was great.
Did you know Chris Kacerek before you went through this process?
No, before leading up to, I did not. But as this process started, I got more familiar with him. Great coach, great guy.
Can you share a little bit about the plan for you or his plan for you, Saleh?
We really got to get back. We really got to get back into detail about it and go watch some ball and get on the field and be able to put stuff in position before I can disclose some of that with you.
Phenomenal answer by that young man right there, baby. Phenomenal answer. No, I'm not going to tell you the game plan for my usage and all that. What are you asking me? Huh? You want the call sheet? You want to know what we're going to do down and distance every single play? Like, how is he supposed to answer that question? We got to go over some more of that. You know, we'll get to it later on. I can't answer that question right now. Like, stop.
It's so many defensive ends now. The game is so specialized that a lot of edge guys are sleek and lighter and, and maybe only come in on third down. How important it is to you to be, you're only 20. You could still put on 15, 20 pounds maybe, or to be like a real, every down defensive end that does both things, run and pass.
Yeah, I take pride in that. I want to be able to be on the field every down. So I feel like if you're able to do that, but they're going to take care of you when it's time to take care of you. So I want to be able to be on the field as long as I can. And that just comes with learning your job, your responsibility, doing what you're supposed to do, and excelling and playing well. So you got to do all those things to be able to be on that field in that capacity. So.
Well, not a lot of guys play through a high ankle sprain.
Yes,
obviously, you made the decision to do that. What went into that decision to continue to push through it, and how hard was it every week to get yourself to a point where you're ready to play?
Yes, sir. I didn't think a whole lot about the decision. I just realized, like, if coaches told me that I could have played and it was up to me, I was going to play. Like, it was never a doubt to go lead my guys out there, and I could have played. It just, like, my mindset, really, my mentality about football and how I am. I love the game, so I'm going to play. But on the answer, yeah, man, it was multiple weeks where I wasn't practicing. I was just going out there and playing. Yeah, so I went through a lot dealing with that, but I'm here now.
Like all draft prospects, you were, scrutinized and analyzed leading up to this, quite a bit. Like strengths, weaknesses. You mentioned you're not, totally there yet. But were there any time, like draft profiles of things you saw, like this is not a weakness? What are they talking about?
Man, I just let the media do their job, man. I don't too much get into all that. Like I let the decision makers watch tape and I go off their feedback. I don't really too much worry about what an analyst off of Twitter or something say. I'd appreciate that.
All right, thank you guys. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, listen, that is going to conclude this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. All right, that's what I got for you guys. And again, we're going to do this for every single player drafted by the Niners. The next couple of episodes are going to be slightly different. Shut up. Next couple of episodes are going to be slightly different in the sense that we'll hear from all the players, we'll do the players' interviews, and then at the very end, we'll let John and Kyle go because they kind of go over all the picks made on that day. So tomorrow, the next episode, I don't know if I'll do it tonight. I got a show coming to you guys later tonight. But another show, the next show will be all the players from day 2, their respective phone calls, the reaction and all that stuff, their pressers, and then we'll hear from John and Kyle and all that at the very end because they're going to, again, be recapping the entire day and all the players selected. So, all right. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. And Nick, thanks for watching live, man. I appreciate you, big dog. And we'll be back, all right? That's going to do it for us today. Prepare for glory, anticipate pain, but always remain faithful. Peace.
We all gas, no brakes, pumped up, no fakes. We spinning, we winning, we high stakes. We never miss, we all makes. Look at us dudes trying to prove, bringing you news with nothing to lose. Mike, Nick, Tony, Wayne, Method Man, we bring the pain. Hey, see, I'ma confess it. We under the pressure. If you looking to find us, we them nothing but Niners. Niners. We nothing but Niners. We nothing but Niners.